Video log January 7th. It's a Tuesday, 2020. So I've got my DJI Mavic Pro Platinum with the flight safety guide. So I wanted to make this video because this is the third DJI Mavic Pro Platinum that I have possessed since I think April or March of 2019. So I kind of wanted to talk about a couple of things. When I started looking for a drone, this came highly recommended to me by my brother, and so I bought one and I started a business doing aerial photography. And so the first one I had kind of had some technical issues after I calibrated it and everything. Pardon me. After I calibrated it and got it all set up, every once in a while my gimbal and camera would go cattywampus. I've seen a lot of videos, and I'm sure if I went back and pulled half of my videos, I could show everybody exactly the issues I was having. But I didn't say anything about it. I didn't get the DJI Care Refresh. I thought for sure, since I was buying a $1,000 camera, that it was quality. Plus it came highly recommended, and I definitely wanted to try it out for myself. So this is the third one that I've had, and so let me just back up a little bit. So I didn't get the DJI Care Refresh, and so it had some issues with it, but it still worked. And so I just went with it. Down the road, maybe 6 months down the road, I crashed my drone trying to do one of the intelligent flight modes. It was actually the Helix flight mode. I was too close to my house and I crashed it. And so I ended up needing to send it off to DJI to do a repair. So I discovered two things about the process. Several things about the process and the customer service. So I thought I would share some of that for you guys. So the first thing was that I didn't realize that you had to have a PayPal account to make the process go faster. So the first repair that I had done, I actually did a bank-to-bank money wire transfer that ended up taking well over 5 business days. So to get from my bank, I had to do international wire transfer to China, which is where their company is located. And so this is the way the process works for anybody that doesn't know or doesn't have the DJI Care Refresh. Now you can see this still has the new stickers on it, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But this is the process if you have a repair that needs to be made. And so DJI will actually pay for your shipping. You'll print off a label, put your drone in a box, ship it to DJI. They will do an assessment at $65 an hour and determine what it will cost to actually do the repairs for you. Now, when my brother first recommended this drone to me, one of the things that he told me was, if you ever have any kind of problem whatsoever, DJI will just send you a new one. And so I thought, wow, that's really good customer service. This definitely sounds like a company that I want to do business with. But then I found out there is no guarantee that you'll actually get a new one in a service type situation. If you bought the DJI Care Refresh, I'm still not even sure if you actually get a new drone or you get a like new drone. And that's a huge concern to me. So this is the way the process worked. I sent it to them. They assessed the damage. It ended up being $400 for the repair. and they sent me a different drone. They sent me a like new drone because I didn't have the DJI Care Refresh. And so I was a little unhappy about that, but I thought, hey, I'm getting a like new drone, so maybe that's better. I was out a drone a couple weeks. I hadn't actually got my business off the ground, so to say. I wasn't doing a lot of business. I was still, doing a lot of research and developing my business. And so that wasn't a huge deal at the time. It just really sucked. But they gave me an estimate for the repairs. I paid for the repairs. I'm thinking that I'm actually getting those repairs done. But the repairs didn't get done. They actually sent me a like new drone. And I just didn't really think that that was cool, because within the first month that I had it, the gimbal would cattywampus in mid-flight and do stuff that I didn't really think was cool. And for over $1,000, I ended up spending like $1,300 with the the extra stuff, the Fly More combo pack. So it was really expensive. So they did the assessment. I sent them the money. They sent me a different drone. I wasn't really happy with that, but I was like, okay. So I ended up having another crash. But once they send you a like new drone, they do not give you the option of actually purchasing the DJI Care Refresh, because then I'm like, okay, obviously this would be a good idea to go ahead and get the DJI Care Refresh. We'll give you up to 2 drones per year if you do crash or have any kind of technical malfunction or anything like that. But it turns out all they're going to give you is a like new one that's refurbished. And I don't really think that that's very cool, considering I bought a brand new one. But that's a different thing. I have a couple of issues here. So I had a second crash, of course. I thought I was being careful, but the Mavic Pro Platinum does not have side or back obstacle avoidance sensors, and I was doing a pan shot, going sideways, and I ran into something. Messed up my propellers. Had a couple scratches on there, and I ended up with a crack, which I made a video not too long ago about that I was going to have that done. So I sent it off. They quoted me 2 hours of assessment at $65 an hour, and then the parts for the body was like $24. One of the motor arms was like $8. One of the other motor arms was like $12. So total, it was like $180. So I was like, cool, no big deal. I was just happy. At this point, I had set up a PayPal, and doing the payment transaction with PayPal went 10 times smoother, 10 times faster. I was much happier with that. So I was without my Mavic for about a week, when the other time it was more like 3 weeks to a month, a little more than a month. So it was a huge difference. So I just got this one back today, and I noticed that, again, they sent me a like new drone, totally different serial number. And I really feel like they should have asked me. That's their policy, is we'll either do the repairs or send you a like new drone. I don't understand why they're actually quoting me a price for this much for this part, this much for this part, this much for this part, and then I pay that much money for that exact repairs, because that's what the quote is for, and then it didn't pass their quality check, and so they sent me another like new drone. So now every time you get a different drone, of course with a different serial number, you're going to have to get back on the FAA website, re-register your new aircraft, or like new aircraft, and you should be good to go. Of course, you got to recalibrate everything and reset up the drone through the app and everything else. So I wanted to show you the first, before I get into this little bit of what I was going to talk about. I wanted to show you basically how I received it. So I did end up getting a flight safety guide, which I thought, you know, kind of made sense. They're obviously like, hey, you keep crashing or whatever, which I haven't been horrible about it. But I wanted to show you that why I think there's no way that there could have been a shipping issue. So this is the DJI box. When you buy it new, as you can see, it's a perfect fit for the drone. Drone goes in there. This goes on there. This is the original box. I put it in this box, and then they had bubble wrap twice around the box in the box, and then they had all that in another box. So I don't really think that what I'm about to show you is from packaging or from shipping. So they sent me another like new drone, and when I got it, I want you to see this, because this is what you could potentially get by doing business with DJI. Now that I have established my business and, you know, am definitely trying my best to do everything professional as possible, pre-flight, everything. You know, if I know there's anything wrong with my drone or anything out of whack at all, I'm not flying, you know, which just being without my drone to have a repair done means I could be missing work, which means I could be losing money, which means my business is doing nothing. Now, I know a lot of people have a fleet of these, but when I got started, you know, I couldn't afford to go out and buy 3 of these or 2 of these or 5 of these, or, you know, so I'm possibly going to look into something else. Now, I don't want to sound like a whiny little girl, because they did send me a like new one, but the last like new one that they sent me, again, when I was in mid-flight, my gimbal went cattywampus, starts going this way, going that way, going this way, and then I wasn't even sure if it was actually going to correct itself, but they do end up correcting themselves. But I need a guarantee, you know, I'm trying to run a business. I don't need something that may or may not work. Now, I really think these are really cool, but I don't need really cool if it has any kind of malfunction. I need an absolute guarantee that this thing is guaranteed to work. So basically, I received this tonight. I unwrapped it from the packaging, and then I'm like, son of a bitch, they sent me another like new drone, and before I even unfolded it, I started looking, and this is what I see on here. Everything looks crisp, everything looks perfect, but you can see here the play on this leg. It's pretty tight. Then you flip it over and look at the play on this leg. Now that's a lot of play. Let's show you a little closer. Now it's not a lot, not a super huge big deal, but kind of it is. I'm not sure if that's correct or gonna cause a malfunction. I'm not sure. I mean, just look at the play in that versus the play in this side. I can't even get this side to move, which makes me feel like this is how it should be. And I'm really trying to get that to move. And this one, I tell you what, that makes me very uncomfortable thinking that there's any kind of play or movement on there from a like new drone. Just try to show you. I mean, to me that's a lot of play. I'm going to try to move this one. Doesn't hardly move. But before I've even unfolded it, and maybe someone can tell me, but I just don't feel comfortable with that. So now I'll get to the phone call. So when I called DJI, first thing I said was, hey, you sent me this estimate. This is the second time you sent me another drone that wasn't the drone. The work that you quoted me wasn't done, and you gave me a different drone. And it just makes me nervous because it's the only drone I have currently. I'm actually debating. See here, you can see it too. To me, and then this one barely budges. You can really see that it hangs lower. But this is the like new drone that I got. And I am freaking pissed because, you know, I've been without a drone, and the one they send me is all cattywampus. I don't know if this is going to work or not. And that's my issue. So I wanted to make this video to just show people that even with the DJI Care Refresh, I'm not certain that you won't get a like new drone. I'm not sure that they will actually send you a drone. So when I called, I said, hey, you guys quoted me $180 to do the repairs, and then you sent me a different drone. Don't you think it's a good idea to actually ask your customer, be like, hey, this is what's going on. These are the repairs that we did. So he told me, first of all, I said, did you guys send me a different drone? And he said, no, we did not send you a different drone. I said, well, you did send me a different drone because I had my serial number marked inside, and I'm looking at my serial number up on my whiteboard, and it does not match, of course. So, of course, I know this is not the drone that I sent them. So, I really don't know what to think. I know what to think of that. That does not make me happy at all. And for $1,000 machine, you know, so now what they want me to do is take a picture of this. I don't know how to take a picture of a moving part problem other than, you know, because it looks flawless. So they said, I didn't appreciate that they first told me we did not send you a different drone. When in fact they did, and I knew for a fact that they did. Then he went and checked his records and said, after we did the repairs, we did the quality check, it did not pass our quality check, and so we sent you a different drone. Which that's kind of their policy, and that's fine, but it's not fine. I feel like I should have got a courtesy call. I feel like there's a lack of customer service, a lack of communication, something going on. And here now I have this drone. He said, DJI said, well, we're sorry that you had this experience. I said, well, since you sent me a like new drone, can I buy the DJI Care Refresh? And they said, no, that's only when you buy it brand new. So, you know, you're really up creek if you have any kind of problems. When I was originally with the understanding that if I had any kind of problem, DJI was going to take care of it. It'd be a piece of cake. They'd send me a new one. I didn't realize the fine details about the package, the way it works, and the process. So they said that take a picture of it, send it to them, and they would actually send me a new drone. But I don't even know, you know, how many times do you do business with somebody that screws it up the first and second time? I'm not a big fan of being a repeat customer when they screw up the first and second time. When I bought the very first drone, my first Mavic Pro Platinum from them, and my gimbal went cattywampus, and I had spent, you know, $1,400 on all this equipment, I was not very happy to begin with, but I let it slide. They sent me another one, and I still had that problem with the new one. It was totally not cool after paying for the repairs. So here I am with a third DJI Mavic Pro Platinum, and this is what I got for a product, and I just am not happy. I'm not comfortable. I'm not satisfied. So if I was anyone out there, I would think twice before going with the DJI.